Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of June 14th through June 18th, 2021. Okay, and what I like to do right here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, okay, like you see here. And then I will compare these different charts to higher time frames, okay, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly. And then I will try to give you my analysis based on my experience and based on what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, so to begin with, pretty much I nailed, based on last week's predictions, I pretty much nailed it on the head, right? Everything is falling in place the way I forecasted, but mainly we saw mostly a range of markets this past week, and that's pretty much what I predicted, that you could trade on a 30-minute time frame and you could buy and sell. If you had followed my instructions, you were in pretty good shape this week, or this last week, right? So to start with here, though, we're looking at EURUSD, okay, which I got pulled on the screen, and we see that the price ended lower than where it began, okay, and that's pretty much exactly what I predicted last week, right? And now it was riding sideways for quite a while, and then it finally dropped. So good, right? We've been wanting for EURUSD to drop for quite some time, and this is starting to look pretty good. So what I think is going to happen this coming week, okay, we got a signal to buy right here, okay, but we had a big spike down, and now it's starting to slowly get back up. This right here is at the end of the week, so yes, it could go up more. I have a feeling it's going to probably drop more, though. Now if we look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a strong signal to buy. Alright, so yes, it will probably go back up, but it's been so strong going down. If you look at the daily chart shows the sell, and the weekly chart shows the sell as well. Now if you look here on the weekly, the price had dropped, had this big rally up, and now it's starting to come back down again. Okay, yes, it might go up a little bit more and then continue down. If we stay here on the daily chart, okay, for a minute, all right, one thing I want to point out, if I zoom in so you can see this, I'm going to mark this support right here, okay, and if we notice this current candle, okay, this is on Friday, this candle broke that support. Okay, whenever you have a support broken like that, that typically means you're going to have a continuation of that. All right, it's going to keep breaking, and it will. Now the question is, you know, is it going to keep dropping this week, or we're going to see the price go back up and then back down? Right now we're right on that support line where the current price is here. Okay, so I don't know, if we go down to, let's say, a 1-hour chart, just to look real quick, signal to buy, refresh my indicator. So we have a signal to buy on the 1-hour, also the 4-hour and 30-minute, right? So looking like it's definitely going to go up. So what's going to happen this week is that we're going to see just basically another continuation of what happened this last week. Okay, so in the beginning of the week we'll see the price go back up and probably a few hundred pips, and then stabilize around Wednesday, okay, and then we're going to see that price finally dip back down. Okay, so again, it should be safe to both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. Okay, but what we need to do is on Monday, okay, do not place any trades until at least the London session on Monday. That way you get to see what the market is doing, and usually when the market first cranks up and starts on Monday, the market is very slow, very sluggish, okay, because it's been sleeping all weekend. Now it's coming back alive. So, and we have to wait for the banks to open to really, you know, start to get some movement, and that isn't until the Asian session, and then, you know, even the Asian session is kind of slow. So we really won't see a lot of movement until at least the London session. That's why I always stress that. Okay, now right now we have a signal to buy, so yes, wait until the London session, see what the market is doing, and then you should be able to place your buy trade. Okay, now once you place that buy trade, close it when you get the next opposite red arrow to sell. Okay, and then just repeat that process. So this week should be good for buying and selling. You will probably see the price end about where it began, maybe even lower. All right, but I think we're going to see most of the flat range of market this week. If we look here on GBPUSD, okay, so again we see, like I said, pretty much a flat range of market. The price ended almost exactly where it began. Well, it began up here, but well, yeah, and it's slightly lower. But the thing is, it's starting to go up right now, which is interesting. Okay, and that's okay because we, like I said, we see the flat range of market, and I think we're going to probably see a continuation of that. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, oops, shift that chart a little bit. Look here on the 4-hour chart. Okay, we got a strong signal to sell, and we're at a good resistance right now. The 30-minute shows to sell, and it already dropped and it's starting to go back up a little bit, which is fine. But the 4-hour, where we're at, the 4-hour shows the buy, or the 1-hour shows the buy as well. The daily chart shows to sell, and the weekly chart shows to sell as well. So we always want to look at the weekly and the daily to get an overall big picture of where the market is going, and we know long term is going to be dropping. Okay, looking on the weekly chart, we have a pretty strong signal to sell. All right, and we also notice that, you know, hit this point of resistance before and it hit it again. Okay, now it's starting to drop, so that's a good sign. All right, we had a big rally up, now it's getting ready to drop back down, and now looks like an excellent time to sell. Look here on the daily chart, it's just now starting to drop, and we're at a pretty strong support. So with this said, we want to look on selling the GBPUSD. Okay, now you see the 4-hour chart shows to buy, but you see this is a pretty much a tight range of market. I do expect in the beginning of the week for this to go back up, and then around the middle of the week drop back down. Okay, so it's not going to go up a whole lot. Okay, it's not going to go back up to this point here. What I think is going to happen is we have a strong resistance right in here. Okay, somewhere in here, and that is what we were looking for the price to go up to. Okay, the 4-hour says the buy, which is excellent. The 1-hour shows the buy, 30 minutes shows to, well, sell, and it might drop a little bit more, but the thing is, the 1-hour and 4-hour show to buy, right? So those take more precedence. Those are stronger signals than the 30-minute, right? So what we want to think about is the price going up. Even if it drops a little bit more in the opening on Monday, it's going to go back up. Okay, it's going to go back up for at least the first half of the week. Okay, now yes, you can buy, and that's okay, but like I said, the bigger time frames show to sell, the daily and weekly, right? So what I suggest, and this is completely up to you, okay, like I said, you could buy right now, but if you look here on the 1-hour chart, which is fine, 30 minutes, okay, but you know, we have a mark that resistance here, but I'm going to mark this resistance here just so you can get an idea. Okay, and what I would do, me personally, is I would put a sell limit pennant order right about here, right where this green line is. Okay, it could be right, it could be in here, but what's going to happen is the price is going to go up. It's going to activate a sell trade when it hits this point, and it'll probably go up a little bit more, which is okay, and you'll have some initial drawdown, but over the course of the next few days, once that trade is placed, it's going to drop. Okay, and you could put a take profit back down here where this area is, because it's guaranteed that it's going to drop down to that level. Okay, and if I get my crosshairs, like let's say we enter a sell trade here and the price drops down to here, you know, you're looking at least 600 pips total profit. okay, and you could collect that within just a couple of days. So that's really good, right? And GBPUSD is a pretty fast mover. As you can see, it got a lot of big candles here. Okay, when you get these big candles, that means it's a lot of movement, and lately it's been pretty active. So that's a good thing to trade. Let's look at AUD/USD. Okay, now this one again was pretty much a flat range of market. If you see the price right here, the price began here, so it ended lower than where it began, but overall it's pretty much in a flat range of market. And the thing to note right here is this big drop here, okay, on Friday, and then it just fizzled out, right? You could have got it on this, so you had a nice little profit, but the thing is, now it looks like the buy. So, is it going to be going up? It's too soon to tell, but yes, it looks like it's going to be going up, at least for the first half of the week. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, okay, I want to look here on the 4-hour chart, and we have a signal to buy. So yes, I believe it will be going up at least for the first half of the week. If we look at the daily chart, we get signal to buy as well. Okay, and the weekly chart I know says to sell. It's been saying that for a long time, but the fact that the daily chart says to buy, okay, that's like wow. So it needs to go back up. I don't know how high it's going to go up, but what I do know is that we have a resistance right there. Okay, that is where we are looking for to see another red arrow. All right, is it going to go up to that high this week? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, because if the US dollar goes up, this is going to drop. Okay, and we see that in the past couple weeks it's been just in a flat range of market. So yes, it's going to be headed up. That much I can pretty much guarantee, at least the first half of the week, and then around the middle of the week we should see a reversal. So what, how do you need to trade this week? What do you need to do? Okay, so what I recommend is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you should be able to both buy and sell on the Australian dollar, because I don't see like there's going to be any huge gains or any huge drops. We're going to see pretty much another flat, just tight range of market this week. Okay, and we have a resistance here, support here already, and they should see the price go back up to that point and then drop back down. I'm looking at going into next week, we should see a breakout and go even higher. Okay, but right now it's too soon to tell what's going to be going on. But this week should be an interesting week, and you should have a very good week trading the Australian dollar, because like I said, it's going to be going up and down, and should have a lot of good movement. So keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Place a buy trade on the blue arrow which you have currently. Close it when you get the next red arrow. And again, I would wait until at least the London session on Monday to place your trade. Okay, that way you get a see what the market is doing. Okay, usually the London session is when the market comes alive anyhow. Okay, so let's move on to US dollar versus the Swiss franc. Okay, we see the price ended almost exactly where it began, and we had breaking news right here on Thursday, and a lot of volatility, right? But that's okay. That was only short-lived, but definitely you can definitely see there was some news right there, right? So anyhow, it hit some resistance right here already. Okay, and I think it's going to be dropping the first half of the week. If we see in the EURUSD go up, GBPUSD go up, AUDUSD go up in the first half of the week, then the US dollar is going to do the opposite. Okay, so this one should be dropping the first half of the week. Okay, so let me shift the chart a little bit. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to buy. Okay, signal to sell on the 1 hour. All right, 4 hour says to buy, daily says to sell, which is okay, and the weekly shows to buy. Okay, so we know long term is going to be going up. All right, that's a given. The thing is, right now on the daily chart, we have no signal to buy, no blue arrow yet. We've been waiting for this thing for quite a while. I was thinking and kind of hoping that we would see a blue arrow this past week, but we did not. So, we notice here that the price broke the previous support here and actually dropped a little lower. And we still do not have a blue arrow yet. So, where's the price going to go? Okay, we broke this resistance, I think. The next is right here. Okay, this is now a support, so that would be our target where we will potentially see another blue arrow form. Okay, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to drop that far, although it very well could. Like I said, the 4-hour shows to buy, and it's already going up, so we'll see the price, you know, shoot back down some more. But I just have a feeling that, and this is just a funny feeling, I don't know, but we have a strong support right there on the 4-hour. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the bigger picture. Right here is a strong support. If it drops down to this point again, there's a very good chance that we will see a blue arrow on the daily chart. Okay, so like I said, either here or here. Okay, we have 2 points. I don't know exactly where. Very feasible, very possible that the price will hit this point again and form a blue arrow, because it's already hit several times. So keep that in mind. Now, what we're looking for, that might not happen this week either. It probably happen next week, I'm guessing. But right now, price shows to go up in the 4-hour, and the 1-hour shows to sell. So in the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, we will just see the price drop. Okay, 30-minute shows to sell, 1-hour shows to sell. So we'll see the price drop back down, and then around the middle of the week, we'll see the price shoot back up again. Okay, I don't think it's going to drop all the way down to here. It's going to drop a little ways and then go back up. Okay, because the 4-hour shows to buy is the only problem. And probably what happened, the price will drop down, and then going into the next week, we'll see the price go up even more. Okay, and then what I'm guessing, I don't know, I really don't know when we're going to see a blue arrow on the daily chart. But what I'm thinking is towards the end of June, we're going to see the price drop back down and form another blue arrow. If we look right here, we draw a trend line. Okay, look at this. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a bit. Okay, this is a perfect example of a trend line, a downtrend, and this is a resistance going down. Okay, I noticed this in other videos. Whenever you have a downtrend, you need to mark your resistance, and what we're looking for is that the breakout before we actually buy. So I'm thinking that what's going to happen is the price is going to get trapped inside of here and then eventually break out, and we're looking for the price to drop down and form a blue arrow, and that will be the final bottom. And then when the price goes up and breaks that trend line, then we can buy for the long term. We know we have a new uptrend forming. Okay, and that will be the market reversal. Okay, if I zoom out a little bit, this is the 4-hour chart. Okay, and we see right now, like I told you, the price is going to drop back down. Okay, in the beginning of the week, and then eventually it's going to go back up again. So what's most likely going to happen, you're going to see the price drop, shoot back up, touch this, and then going into next week, the price is going to drop and then eventually break out. So we're looking at the next 2 weeks for this price to really break out and form a new uptrend. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're still not in an uptrend yet. The US dollar is still weak, still fragile, but it is making headway. Okay, we're finally seeing this strong level of support that we've been wanting to see for quite some time. Okay, and all we got to do is wait for this trend line to break and we're scot-free. Okay, now let's look at USD JPY. Okay, so US dollar Japanese yen again was in a flat range market. I was predicting that this would drop more, which it did not, but that's okay, because I told you to keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame and buy and sell, so that's good. If you followed my instructions this past week, you'd be in profit. So let's look at the 4-hour chart for a minute. Okay, we still have a signal to sell, which we had last week, and we're looking for the price to drop probably in here before we get a blue arrow. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, I know we got a signal to sell as well. The only problem here is we got a big support right here. Okay, but the price has been going up ever since that point. In order to get a blue arrow on the daily chart, the price needs to drop back down to that point. All right, now there's no guarantee, of course, but I would feel that would be the exact spot where the price will drop. Meaning, wow, so you know, you get a long ways to go. That could happen in the next few weeks. The U.S. Congress is working to put together a 4th stimulus package. Okay, if they get out here at the end of June or beginning of July, we will see the U.S. dollar go up. So many different currency pairs, you will see a certain color arrow paint on this indicator, and then the price will go even higher. Okay, example, if it's a sell like this, you will see the price go even higher and form another red arrow. So that is very possible. We may not see a blue arrow. Okay, because I don't think the price is going to drop that far. And if we zoom out a little bit, we might be able to see an example of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, right here. We have a red arrow followed by a higher red arrow. Okay, and then it finally dropped. All right, so it is very possible. Okay, we can see the price go even higher and form another red arrow somewhere in here, and then its price drop back down and then go back up again. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, that is very, very possible, and I think that might happen. Okay, I think that probably will happen, but I don't know. What is interesting, though, if you look at the weekly chart, we have 3 blue arrows in a row but no red arrow. Wow. Okay, that's almost unheard of, but it did happen. You do see it. And so I've never seen 4 arrows of the same color, so we definitely need to see a red arrow. Where is the red arrow going to form? Probably at this point here, I'm guessing. I don't know, but that would be the most likely spot. That's weeks down the road, maybe even months down the road before we see that. Okay, US dollar is going to go up a lot, and this USD JPY typically is kind of the inverse of whatever USD CHF does. Not always, but generally speaking. So what's going to happen this week? Okay, daily shows the sell, 4-hour shows the sell, so I feel that this will be dropping this week. Okay, the 1-hour shows the sell and 30-minute shows to sell, right? So it's definitely looking to sell right now, but we do see that we're in a more or less a flat range of market, so it is in a slight uptrend right now. But whether it's a slight uptrend or slight downtrend doesn't really matter so much, as long as we get in that flat range of market. Okay, that is the ideal time to trade. So right now is perfect time to trade. We see a signal to sell on the 30-minute time frame, right? So like I always say before about these USD pairs, I would wait until the New York session, okay, to place a trade. Okay, you can do during the London session, but for me, I would wait until the New York session to see what the US dollar is going to do. It might, if you sold right now or even during the London session, there's a chance when the news breaks out or the New York session opens that we will see the price shoot up even more. Okay, so I don't know. Just wait until the New York session. If it's looking like a good time to sell, then you can go ahead and place your sell trade, close it when you get the next blue arrow, and just repeat that process. Okay, buy on the blue and closed on the red. So that's definitely a good time to buy and sell this week. Just make sure you keep an eye on the charts every few hours, okay? But every 4 hours, 5 hours, that's fine, something like that. The way you can keep an eye on what's going on. Don't just place a trade and forget about it. Alright, so let's look at last pair here, which is US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Okay, now this one gained this past week. You see the price ended quite a bit higher than where it began. Overall, it was in a flat range market except on Friday, where this price spiked up, and that's actually a good sign because we want this to go up for quite some time. And if we look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to sell. So this is kind of interesting, but the thing is, we had a big spike up. Okay, there's a good chance this is a fresh signal also, so there's a good chance this could repaint and go even higher. Okay, I would not sell right away. If you look at the daily chart shows to buy, and the weekly chart shows to buy as well, right? Okay, now like at the weekly chart, this came in last week on the last candle, so this is still a pretty new signal. And I know this thing has repainted. I've seen it, watched it repaint, but now it has not repainted, which is a good sign. So I do feel it's going to be going up. Okay, it's going to take quite a bit of time before we really see an uptrend. If I draw a trend line like this, okay, we have a marker here, marker there. That's only 2 points. This right here isn't technically connected, okay, but if the price goes up and touches this, which it will soon, this week or next week, I think probably going into next week we will see it touch this trend line. And then what's going to happen is the price is going to shoot back down. If we mark this right here, that's our support, and this is called a wedge pattern, in particular a falling wedge. And then what will happen is the price is going to touch this and then shoot back down and go back up and then eventually break. So you're looking at about another month or so for this to really break out and form an uptrend. Alright, so yes, it's going to take some time. This pair is very weak still as far as US dollar, but you know, it is showing signs that it's getting ready to recover. The US dollar, US economy is about to get a lot of money pumped back into it, so that's going to be good for the US dollar. Alright, so it's definitely, if we look at the predictions of when the U.S. government is going to put money back in the economy, you're looking about a month from now, you know, maybe next 3 weeks, let's just say, they're going to put the money in. That would be almost perfect timing for this to break out and form an uptrend. So we can kind of see behind the lines what the U.S. government is doing. Okay, I think all this is kind of planned. I don't know. But it's definitely, if we look at the Forex market, we can kind of tell what the US dollar, the US government is doing, okay, based on what the, you know, the US dollar index is doing. So anyhow, what we need to do this week, okay, the 4 hour shows to sell, 1 hour shows to sell, 30 minutes shows to sell, right? So what I think is going to happen, in the beginning of the week, we'll see the price dip back down, and then around the middle of the week, we see the price shoot back up again. Okay, so that's okay. And what that means is we're going to see mostly a range of market. The price will probably end about where it is now or even higher, but not too much. Okay, so it's definitely a good time to buy and sell. Right now it shows to sell on a 30-minute time frame, and then all we got to do now is just wait. I would wait until the New York session on Monday, okay, before you place a trade with this. Okay, now once that New York session opens, look at the behavior, see if it's erratic or if it's shooting up or down or whatever. But once you get to that New York session on Monday, go ahead and place your sell trade, right? Go ahead and place your sell trade, and then you can close it when you get the next blue arrow, okay? And just repeat that process. Very, very simple. Okay, I like this type of strategy simply because you don't have to be constantly glued to the computer, okay? So you can place a trade and come back about every 4 hours or so and check it. Just set a reminder on your cell phone, however, don't forget about it, okay? But do come back and check it every few hours and just to see what's going on. And like I said, when you get the next arrow, close it, and you'll be perfectly fine. All right, so anyhow, that will conclude my weekly trade predictions. If you need me to analyze another currency pair, okay, I did not go over here, which are so many, please feel free to hit me up on Facebook. I'll put a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there first. Also, I'll put a link for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join my Facebook group and then post any questions or comments in my Facebook group as well. Okay, so that said, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead trading. Just let me know how I can help you, and thank you. Have a wonderful day.